Many people may know that Toastmasters International is the #1 educational nonprofit organization for the development of personal communication and leadership skills. But what you may not know is that they offer a program specifically for teenagers called Youth Leadership. Now, on today's show, we're going to learn more about this dynamic opportunity for our youth and meet some who've been through it. Jeff Raia is a distinguished Toastmaster, the highest designation in the organization, and is an Advanced Leader Silver. He has been a member of Toastmasters for almost 14 years and has been teaching youth leadership programs in elementary and middle schools for over 7 years. He is this year's Youth Leadership Coordinator for District 53, covering Eastern New York, Connecticut, and Western Massachusetts. Now, to his right is Walter Beveridge. He's a DTM, also a distinguished Toastmaster, and he's Sergeant-at-Arms for one of the clubs in District 53, and he's done some amazing stuff with youth leadership as well. Jeff has brought with him 3 young men who have recently completed this 16-session training at Christian Brothers Academy in Albany, New York. Now, from left to right are Aiden Pacifico, Joey Pierre, and Nathan Raia. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
So you just completed this program.
Yes,
16 long sessions. Now, how long were each of the sessions?
Oh, Bill, they were 45 to 47 minutes. So actually, it's an 8-week program, 16 session. What I like to do is we run the regular session at the end of the week, but during the week I come in and help with the speech development because we have 2 to 3 speakers a week, prepared speeches a week. So we help them with that development so that way they can perform well at the end of the week. Plus we have the extemporaneous speaking, which is called table topics in our program.
So you're the youth leadership guy. Tell us a little bit about the program in general, and then I want to talk to these guys and tell us the real deal of what they experienced in those sessions.
Okay, well, the program, they all participate, Bill. So for instance, in this class, we had 22 students, and we give them the teacher a 8 session. We have all the kids with their functionaries where we have a joke master, so one of them will get up and tell a joke, which would start off the program so everybody's laughing, having fun. And then we have a word master. We have a word for the group, and that word master counts through the week, not just during the meeting. Like they'll use gregarious, and then the members have to use it, the students have to use it, and they use it all through the week as well. And they also count non-words, the ums, the ahs, and you know, you like, and they count that as well, and they try to use different transition words, therefore, maybe, because, I digress.
So let me ask you, Jeff, because people may not be familiar with Toastmasters, and you and I are, we've been in Toastmasters a long time. Tell us, what you mentioned was that they're learning words in the meeting. Why is that so important?
Well,
when you use a word on a regular basis in a meeting.
In kindergarten, we might have used big, but we continue to use that word throughout elementary, high school, college, instead of maybe transitioning into colossal, humongous. They'll use big all the time. So why not switch it up and use words that we don't use in everyday language? And then when they start using it, then it becomes a habit, and they'll start using it, and they can use it in their professional life as well.
And that's really good. And I think what using the word of the meeting is powerful because it does 2 things. Like you said, it expands their vocabulary. It really does, and at a perfect age where they're learning. The other thing it does is also it creates a cognitive focus in the meeting. That means they're going to pay attention. They're going to pay attention to the number of times that people use that word, and then they also have to say, okay, I got to try to use that word in what I'm going to say. You also mentioned about counting the ums and the ahs and the so's and the ers and the buts. Why is that important?
Well, we don't pause or use words that we use filler words which don't make sense, and we don't take the time to put our thoughts together and speak logically, and it gets kind of confusing and it's distracting because one, our message is very valuable to the audience, and we want to really fine-tune that message so that way we can all listen to that message. And schools really focus on, one, reading and writing when it comes to communication, right? So what we're trying to focus on, there's 3 types of speech: the manuscript speech, the extemporaneous or off-the-cuff speech, and then the last one, guys, help me with that. I always forget that one. What's the next one? The memorized speech. So we have the third one. So for instance, the manuscript speech, What happens? We're asked to give a speech in school from kindergarten through college, and we get up. Do we have a performance there? No, we have a reading. Are we connecting? Do we give a message? Do we perform? No, we inform instead of perform.
And that's so powerful when for you guys are representing, you're like top of the class for your development stage, for your age bracket, because we know most teens who don't go through this end up, well, like, you know, so, and we do that. The human brain does that because when I think what's going on is we're like, okay, I still have the floor. I'm still going to say something, and we need our brain to move faster so we can say it. But when we use it's like a pause so that we can get the next thought and deliver it, but it's not professional. And what a great thing for these guys to be on the cutting edge of their age to be able to take that out of their language. Now, Walter, you're active in District 53.
That's right.
Toastmasters. And how often do how often do clubs conduct these? Because as I understand, it's the club that can put on one of these events, right?
That's right. Toastmaster clubs can set their own agenda, and they can have a variety of community programs, one of which is the Youth Leadership Program, which is the one that we're talking about today. And it's a gift to the community. There's no charge for it. So it could be done in a public library, it could be done at a Toastmaster meeting as part of the meeting, or where the Toastmaster Club meets. And everything in Toastmasters is done by volunteers.
And I think the two things that are really important here about the Youth Leadership Program is, one, if you're a parent and you have a teenager that you'd like to put through the program, I think we're going to show the Toastmasters, our district website anyway, but go to Toastmasters, what is it, Toastmasters.org? Toastmasters.org, and look for your local chapter and find out if somebody's going to be doing youth leadership. The other thing is people might be watching the show who are the directors of Boys and Girls Club, Scouts, and they could probably reach out to a local Toastmasters club and say, hey, can you bring this training into us because it's completely free? And it's a great thing for a club to do that, right?
That's right. And I think the most important thing is that anything that happens in Toastmasters is fun. Our founders said, we learn in moments of enjoyment. So let's have some fun catching when people use an and it becomes a game. Have fun trying to use the word. It makes us think. And Toastmasters is about listening, thinking, and speaking.
And because I'm a believer that we're on a journey of lifelong learning. We never get to the point and say, okay, I know everything. I don't need to do anything anymore. So let me start with you, Aiden. What did you like most about going through this youth leadership?
I really loved the whole experience. It's an absolutely amazing thing to have on a college resume. I mean, when you're going into a business situation and you need to do an interview, which would a boss rather hire? Someone who's constantly saying, or someone who's stating their facts in a well and organized manner?
Come on. You know what's best about him right away? He's looking you in the eye, and he's speaking clearly. How many times have you run into a teenager in a grocery store going, oh, yeah, hey, they can't even make eye contact. That's awesome. All right, so Joey, what do you think? What did you like most about going through the program?
Well, going through this program, I went to the 16-step program like these two. And what I really liked is, since I was a little boy, I always wanted to go and be a reporter on a news station. So I like how you get to stand up and speak your mind, and like it's part of an organization. So you get to do it for fun.
Did you get nervous?
A lot.
You did?
Yeah.
Did the leaders teach you what to do when you get nervous?
Yeah, they told me to breathe deeply and like just take a deep breath before you go on and just be yourself.
What I liked most about the Toastmasters program or the Youth Leadership Program was the table topics. What you do in table topics is Mr. Raia gives you a topic out of the blue, like any topic under the sun. And you have to speak 1 to 2 minutes, sometimes it's 2 to 3, 30 seconds to a minute when we're like timed and like under a time strain. But it's a really great learning experience.
So do you remember any of the questions that you got? or that were asked?
Yeah, I remember one that really stood out.
Yeah?
Mr. Raia gave me How I Saved the World with Marshmallows.
And you had to talk about that?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. That's almost like getting the question, teach us basket weaving. You know, and how did you do?
I said, well, I saved the world with a marshmallow gun, and I defeated the invaders, and I did pretty well. Everyone liked it.
So that's cool. Now, table topics is when you can get the mind and your nervousness and your mouth all to work together, and you can be creative. You know what I love about when you get the table topics assignment with a Toastmasters meeting, you can say anything you want. Yeah. People get so afraid, like, oh, what if I don't say something right? There is nothing to say right. The object is just to say something, right? So, Jeff, why are you leading this effort in District 53? You are in charge of the youth leadership, or you're the chairperson for it.
That's correct. Bill, I've been running it for a number of years. This is my 7th year. I've run maybe 9, 10 programs in our area. And I like the lower ages. Even though the Toastmasters International has put out this modular for high school in general, I like it in the elementary and the middle school, thinking that's a transition area where we need to bring this program as well. And I think, Bill, what's great about the program is that it celebrates the effort. So for instance, if I'm offering a subject, for instance, like Save the World with a Marshmallow, then I let these guys think, and then when I call on Nathan, he just stands up, and guess what we're doing? We're acknowledging him. So we're celebrating the effort of him just standing up. At the end of our program, we get comments, and they say, hey, and students say, Mr. Raia, too much clapping, but they're smiling. They are having fun with it.
We only got about a minute left, but just curious, now these guys are all going to a particular school, right? How did you work the deal out with the school real quick?
Well, it's Christian Brothers Academy. Schools in general, if you have a son, I have 3 boys at Christian Brothers Academy, but if you don't have sons or daughters in school, if you know of a child or you know of a teacher, then you approach them and say, because Toastmaster makes it very easy with the modules you can get from Toastmasters International. Right. So you can get that material from Toastmasters International and talk to directors like myself, and we can help you get them into any organization.
Excellent. So are you guys, when you turn 18, are you going to go find your local Toastmasters club?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Really? You think you had that much fun?
Yeah.
You're ready to do it?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Now they're in forensics, though. They're in forensics. After that program, they caught the fire, and now I'm coaching them in forensically in debate.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for coming out, guys. It's a really valuable program. I encourage viewers to consider that, being a part of that and bringing it to your organization. Thank you so much. We all get stressed out sometimes, but if it feels like stress seems to rule your days, it's time to do something about it. My next guest is going to offer some natural solutions to handling stress. Now, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.